answering, now what do we do, is where the fun begins.
Yeah.
Because lo and behold, you thought you had no options. Meanwhile, there's 26 just waiting for you.
Welcome back to Muse on the Mic. I'm Riley.
And I'm Emily. Thanks everyone for joining us on another awesome episode here on YouTube on MUSE On the Mic. A quick introduction for everybody. We are the owners of an erotic, spicy massage parlor in Toronto, Canada. We've been open for like 16 years. We've been in the sex world for like 100, and we know lots of things, but from a very unique perspective, especially from ownership of a spicy business. We meet a lot of men, we meet a lot of ladies, and I think we got a lot of insight today that might be really handy for some very specific gentlemen. Riley, what are we talking about today?
Well, we're speaking to our smaller kings today, but let's face it, small penis is a term that's thrown around a lot, but confusing that with a micropenis, these are very different things. And so I think we just really want to smash some stigma and give some information about micropenises because it is its own category, and just open the discussion with you gentlemen.
Absolutely. I feel like those that have one or have known about it, they're probably battling stigma left, right, and center. And if there's anything we know in the sex work world, it's how to smash the shit out of stigma. And that's why we're on pod every single day that we can talking about it, because unfair judgment harms everybody. And I think even if you have a micropenis, there's a lot of cool shit you can still do. There's a lot of tools and innovation out there. And actually some relatability with extremely large gentlemen as well. So let's dive in and kind of talk about all the things. I'm going to start us off actually with a toy suggestion, if I may.
Okay.
So we have an amazing new sponsor and affiliate with Honey Playbox. And just by actual coincidence, while we were browsing some of their toy options, picking a few that we're going to be trying and reviewing on the pod, tune in for that nonsense, we came across something very particular that I immediately thought, small kings and micropenises, this is the tool to send things to the moon. I am just so excited. So I got a couple visuals for y'all. Link is in the description. We get a little cut. Y'all get a discount. It's a win-win. But this thing is incredible. So I'm just going to dive in. It's called the Pleasure Pivot. And this is more multifunctional than the toys they make for us. It's actually mind-blowing. And I always just assume toys for ladies would be more multidimensional because we have a lot more kind of going on. Nah. Nah, this thing takes things to extremely amazing levels. So it's got, first of all, it to attach it or to put it on you, it's got like a cock ring, which for anyone and smaller, listen, big boys, you can use this too. It's not about that. It's about kind of this as being like your wingman and like the good assist times like 100. So anyways, it goes on with a cock ring at the base. So that's going to keep all the blood in your penis, which if you have a micropenis, you want as much blood as humanly possible in there because you're looking for max volume. It also has a piece that cups your balls. And the good thing about that is it'll make everything protrude forward a little bit. So you'll be presented. But in terms of like her pleasure and you wanting a little more oomph to yourself, that automatically adds a little extra volume. It also has this amazing piece that goes over top the shaft of your cock. Now, in the photo that we're about to show you, the diagram obviously has an average size penis. Keep in mind, micro means it's smaller than that, 3 inches or less. So even if it just goes to the end of this toy and this little extender branch that kind of goes over top, I think it's the perfect thing to add. And yet, if you're a little smaller than that, let's say you're a 1-inch king, there are penis extenders that you can actually buy from other toy suppliers and then slap this Pleasure Pivot right on top of that mamma jamma. Holy shit. So it'll give you the length and add to the girth, which is always a win. Women love girth. But the branch that extends over your cock vibrates, which means it's going to tickle the tip for you. It's going to G-spot tickle for her. internal vibration. It also, there's a lot. It also has a piece that goes up along your pubic bone, which when she's being penetrated, that's going to hit her clit, which also vibrates. So you're going to get even more vibration sensation. And all of that is going to enhance all of your nerve endings. They're going to tingle extra. And there's going to be even more blood flow to the whole area. And then as an extra like wallop right in the middle of that, there's a piece that extends back to where your prostate is located that presses on the taint and also vibrates.
Wow.
Holy shit, right? You are going to be like an army man with this on. Like you are locked and loaded and just power equipped for so much fun. It charges really easy. It can have an app that adapts for it. It can even be operated from the phone or with Bluetooth. Like, who the hell knew technology went that? Shout out to Honey Playbox, because this innovation blew my brains. As much as we were supposed to be browsing for us, I immediately was like, Riley, stop everything. Check this shit out, because this is one of the coolest contraptions that I've seen ever in all of my knowledge of toys. And I don't care how micro you're micro, you could just be a head, just have a mushroom head and get an extender, put this on, the squirt, the prostate milking, the clit vibration. Holy crap. Like you're literally armed to the tilt. Like there's nothing else you can do other than throw a parade on top of this. Because that's max pleasure right there. Yeah. Max absolute pleasure.
Well, and I think the toys nowadays, it makes me think, like, listen, having a micropenis as a diagnosis, because it is a genetic mutation, it happens during infancy. It's a very small percentage. I think it's like 0.6% of people have it, but I can imagine how much that weighs on a man's mental, on his like mental and sexual health and confidence and all of those things. And depending on the generation that you were born, you may feel like you don't have a lot of options. And what do you do? Do you isolate? Like, there's so many questions I would have for an individual, but I think nowadays there is so many options. And like all things we talk about on Muse on the Mic, communication is like gold to us. Like that is where like the root of everything comes from. So I think being upfront, communicating what's going on with your body and figuring out ways to work around it, because sexual pleasure is not all about penetration. And I mean, in fact, you can still provide penetration with many of these toys, but it's having a confidence and an open mind enough to really dive into this, because there is so many avenues. And I think Honey Playbox is a perfect starting point, but I think getting to the web, like there's probably more that we don't even know about. And add in potentially seeing a sex worker to practice on before you go in with your dating, or like see if your game's up to par. Like it is a perfect playground for you to like experiment and get your confidence up, because I honestly, confidence to me is the most attractive thing. And if you lead with that, I don't care what size your penis is, you will know how to please a woman.
Absolutely. You know what? I'll tell you a little tale. My very first client that I did a training session with like I was shadowing another girl, just so happened to be a guy with a micropenis. And I mean, I was 19 and absolutely clueless. Some small town girl suddenly in the big city, deer in headlights. I was like this for the first 2 weeks. Either way, first time I'd seen anything like this. And I immediately learned some shit. I learned how to pleasure him in a way that I guess I normally, like maybe techniques or like angles you wouldn't use with someone who had a larger penis. But to me, that's neither harm nor foul. Like that's neither here nor there, because there are things you do with a big penis that you can't do with a little penis. And what if the little penis move is better? Big dick guy's never going to know what that's like, right? Yeah. And listen, I feel like that about a lot of, I know a lot of micro penis guys are very self-conscious about penetrative sex, but as a girl who has had penetrative sex with small, medium, and large, sometimes the large ones are awful, first of all. You guys are kind of over assuming that giant penises are fantastic. And I could tell you, most guys over a certain length cannot stay hard. There's just not enough blood in their body to all go to that region. They'd probably pass out if it did. Their organs wouldn't be able to function because you need a basic amount before it can go venturing elsewhere. And because of that, they have to grip the base so hard with their fist that by the time they get to you, they're punching you with every thrust. And I'm sorry, vaginas, even if we like it rough, don't necessarily like to be punched. And his knuckles take away from any, I would feel from his length. And it ends up a pretty horrible experience. I don't know about you guys, but size is irrelevant. I don't want to be punched in the crotch that often. And think about your last masturbation session. Were you like punching yourself? That probably wouldn't feel good after 5 minutes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So don't give the big boys that much credit, but let's figure out the ways that we can give you little ones a lot of credit, because I think you've got the upper hand on this because of the technology and stuff that Riley just mentioned, because you can get extenders, you can get suction tools, you can scissor. Ask any lesbian what their favorite fucking move is, and it's scissoring. Why is it their favorite? Because it's a guaranteed win. There are very few things that male-female sex does that is a guaranteed orgasm for her.
Right.
It often is varied upon various things, like her mood and part of her cycle and where her mind is that day. But to put two clits together and whoosh, like electricity happens. They do it a lot for a reason, right? No one would do it if it didn't work.
You want to go deeper? You want to go all the way? Let's go deep throat.
Good evening to all my lovers and friends, and welcome back to another Sunday night episode here on Deep Throat with your favorite sexologist, Emily Muse. We're getting kinky tonight. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to get a little dark. It's going to get almost medieval up in here. And whether it sounds like your thing or might end up your thing by the end, I want you to tune in and use your imagination and think about all the pleasure possibilities of not just this special piece of equipment we're going to talk about, but the replicated possibilities of the positioning and the pleasure that simulating could actually provide. What are we talking about tonight? The St. Andrew's cross. Here's a visual for reference, just in case you're unaware. The St. Andrew's cross was historically used as a bit of a torture and punishment device for things like criminals in the community square. It was martyred long before it was eroticized. In the mid-20th century, the BDSM community captured this item and created quite the staple of the BDSM or the playroom or the dungeon images that you would think when picturing your ultimate playroom. Here's an image from 50 Shades of Grey that to this day tickles my vagina, because if I could build my own home with the perfect play partner, we would have a red room. It would have some sort of St. Andrew's cross, maybe not literal, maybe a little more designer, maybe a little more incognito, just because that's my personal design taste. But you bet your ass it is having like a thumbprint and retinal scan before anyone could get in there. My dungeon of secrets would be for me and him alone, unless we invited a guest. The fun thing about just seeing a St. Andrew's cross is that it automatically visually connects to represent erotica, pleasure, boundary pushing, and everything naughty. So why do people love a St. Andrew's cross in their play scenes? To me, it seems obvious, but that's because of the world that I live in every single day and the things I've witnessed in real life. But walk with me and talk with me down this thought process, this visualization for a moment. Technically, a St. Andrew's cross has 2 top pieces and 2 bottom pieces, similar to a 4-poster bed. So think about the spread that you get. It opens up the body in a vulnerable but very sexually exposed way. There's no hiding your secrets, genitals, body parts. Full openness is completely on the menu when you're playing with a St. Andrew's cross.
You like that? You want more? Subscribe to the Patreon and I'll take you deep throat.
And so there is something about scissoring with a micropenis that you would get to appreciate different textures of the outside and the vulva of the entire vagina region that a man with a big dick has never felt, doesn't care about, and will never visit or pay any attention to. And you, meanwhile, are immersed in paradise. And I'm like, tell me that that's not better. I don't care how you slice it. So it's a matter of perspective as well. I think the shaming and the stigma and the embarrassment of probably childhood, youth, growing up being, we're all awkward and bumpy, and add that in as a self-consciousness. Yeah, it would tear away at the confidence and make you more nervous to get into maybe new sexual encounters. But Riley for the win on the sex worker recommendation, because there's no other practice tool. No offense, ladies. But like, that's what we're here for. Let's do it again. I'll see you next Tuesday, right? And so figure out the tools that work. And I will say, not every tool or every toy is the perfect solution for every guy. You and I can both attest, as could most women, not every toy we've ever bought has been great. In fact, most of them aren't. And then until you find the ones that you really like, and then you're like addicted to. Hello, womanizer. And like some of the ones Honey Playbox sent us, I know are going to blow our minds. And I'm almost like, I need to prepare for it because it's going to rock us. But again, that might be it for you. And for me, I'm like, you know what? It wasn't my thing. I preferred this other one. So don't let trial and error, the error side of trial and error, knock you down, because it's just one less thing you got to worry about. Be like, cool, tried those, don't need it. And move on to what you find, what works. I think there's so many cool options. It's kind of neat that actually technology is working in people's favors these days, because it wouldn't have been a community to solve a problem had there not been like the dawn of the internet. It's very cool. Very cool.
And you know what? The only last point I would have about gentlemen with micropenises is to really, I'm sure they all know this, really refine and master your oral skills. Because listen, as Emily said, with those really big giant dicks, that the man walks around thinking, I got this, that's all I need, is completely wrong. Just because you have a big package, it does not mean success. And he probably doesn't spend the time to master whether it's fingering, oral, butt play. Like there's a lot of other components to get a woman off that I think smaller gentlemen in general take the time to master those skills. And if you're leading with that and then coming in with communication of how she can please you, because let's face it, she does want to please you. That's part of the way your partner's going to get off as well. So if you're leading with those communication skills, it's a win. It's a win. Practice oral, practice fingering, and communicate the hell out of your sexual experiences.
Absolutely. I mean, big dick guy's kind of a one-trick pony, right? Yeah. Because he hasn't had to rely on anything else of going, and just like presenting this stud. Yeah. And then that's it. And he's actually kind of useless, and the sex doesn't even feel that good. So like, what's the point? Did I just get impaled for nothing? I have felt this way before. But I think if you're the guy who has maybe navigated your life, especially your relationships, based on hiding this, trying to be shameful, or like carrying that shame, or engaging with even others and partners that continue the shame. It's a matter of stopping those cycles and finding solutions. I will say there is one other thing that y'all have the upper hand and the win on. You're going to be deep-throated your whole life, because I could gobble your balls down my throat and it's not going to kill me. And that is something that I'm sure big dick guys wish, because most big dick guys, their oral extends to this. Right. Like she's dying here already. He will never feel her nose against his stomach. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but like, fair point. That's the win. Right there. So she can literally like gobble you up. And I think that is such a win. So yeah, 69s, the oral trade is fantastic here. I think the massage techniques are a little different. Hand job techniques all come into play in different ways. The amount of attention to the head, or the pushback of the belly, like you can find a little extra to work with. And let's be real, like some guys, I think I mentioned this to you when we were pre-gaming about this. I've read Reddit stories where guys will actually seek out women that only want to have sex once they're married, so as not to risk it all by dropping their pants and being like, wah, wah, and feeling like it'll be this disappointment. And I can understand a woman in that position feeling a ways about it. A, why the fuck didn't you tell me? And B, now what do we do? Right? But I think once you get past that, answering, now what do we do, is where the fun begins. Because lo and behold, you thought you had no options. Meanwhile, there's 26 just waiting for you. Let's be real. She wants to get fucked sometimes. Oral's great and all. She wants to take a dick. Listen, there are strap-on versions. There are the cock ring type lock-ons. There are extenders that work on suction. There's so many ways you can fit your dick into her vagina and fuck her until she's screaming as if it was the big dick idiot. No matter what, there are solutions and there are ways. And some women don't like big dick. Some women don't like pounding. Some women's uteruses are very sensitive. And for all women, the first 2 inches is the best and most sensitive part of the entire vaginal canal. And I think men hear that and sometimes think, oh, you're just placating me. Like, you just don't like me so much. It's a scientific fact. You can go look this up. You can look up the nervous system and look it up in a woman, and you'll see a hyper concentration in the lower portion, right from like that 2-inch mark down to the outer like vulva, and then obviously even more concentrated around the clit. There are women with big clits too. They find ways to penetrate things even. And so no matter what, I think you could be like a circus monkey with one leg nowadays and find a solution for things. The world is so innovative. I think even since the pandemic, innovation has become even more. People have become more sexually open. Toys like this exist now. Like, things are out there to get you past that hump of stigma and to end up being not just confident, but powerful in your ability to deliver pleasure. And that is like king worthy right then and there. You get your crown automatically. If I know you can make me come and it's like 9 times out of 10, boy, marry me. It's just a win, right? Because you're going to put me out of business. And so I know me and I can get me off. But like, if you're that good, study your woman, study the things that she likes, and then hit Google, hit us up in the DMs, find out what the tool is, going, my babe really likes this and this. What can I use, Emily, to make it better? And we'll hit you up with some referrals and some recommendations. And luckily, Amazon ships privately. You can figure out all the ways, because there's a lot of wicked solutions. I think it's silly to carry stigma your whole life, although it's really hard to shed it. I hope this episode will shed some light on, hey, there's hope, there's options, and there's a lot of excitement there too, because you can do some really cool shit.
And there's always sex workers.
Absolutely, right? Throw in a little candy coated, some chocolate sauce to lick off things, and damn, that's a good day. So good. Well, guys, I want to hear your comments. Hit us up in the comments. Listen, I know it's going to be controversial. People have a lot of opinions, especially if you have a micropenis or are on the smaller side of things. I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. We answer every comment. We usually do. We try our best. Let's talk about it. We can always do a follow-up episode if people have a bunch of questions suddenly in the comments, but I love that we opened the platform of conversation and are delivering some good news. This is so fun. Get your rocks off. Absolutely. Find your pleasure. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. Hit up that Honey Playbox link in the description below and find your tools that make your life that much more orgasmic. And we'll see you next time on MUSE on the Mic. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.